Are you new to live streaming online, looking for ways to really get it to where you get your brand to pop on your respective platform, be it Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or elsewhere? Well, today we're going to be hiring someone on Fiverr for banner design and overlays. In fact, we're going to hire two different sellers at a premium of $50 versus $200. Which one is going to be the best of the two? Well, the answer is going to surprise you, so you're going to want to make sure you stay tuned. Hey, it's Dale here from Live Streaming Tech, and what we're going to be doing today is, rather than showing you how to do it yourself and get some really bad art when it comes to branding yourself in live streaming online, we're actually going to go to the pros and get them to do it for us. It's the path of least resistance and something I recommend to most people doing. Hey, today's video is sponsored by Fiverr. They've actually put everything together for us, but the nice thing is they actually allowed us free reign to choose any of the sellers that we wanted to, and they really didn't guide us in one way or another. There's going to be links in the description down below for each of these sellers that we're going to share with you. And also, if you want to skip to the chase, if you're a gamer or a streamer, go right over into the Fiverr store at livestreamingtech.com/Fiverr. That's Fiverr. So if you're new to live streaming online, welcome. I want to share with you the specific graphics you're going to need, whether you're streaming on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Now, there's a common denominator for all three of those things, and it's going to start out, first of all, with the channel images. You're going to first need a profile pic and a channel banner. Now, you're going to find that sometimes it's called something different. So, for instance, I think it's called channel art on YouTube, and it might be avatar over on Twitch, but nonetheless, you need those two elements across all three of those platforms. Now, with Twitch, you need just a little bit more in panels as well as an offline screen. So when you're not streaming online, you need to have something that says, hey, I'm offline, and here's some of the places you can follow me at and when I'm going to be on next. Now, the next thing you're going to need is some live streaming graphics. This is going to apply to everywhere. This is what you're going to be using in your dashboard when you're using, say, Streamlabs OBS or OBS Studio and such. You're going to need overlays and alerts, and you're also going to need screens. This is going to include starting soon screen, ending soon screen, and a be right back soon screen. Now, the reason why I'm telling you all of these things in advance, when you're going shopping, you're going to want to make sure you compare and contrast each one of the gigs, how much it costs, and what you're willing to spend, and which are you willing to sacrifice. There's a good reason why I listed these assets in a specific order, because those very first ones you absolutely need. The next ones aren't essential, but they are definitely going to be something that makes you get you establish yourself apart from the rest of the pack. Now, first of all, placing the order through Fiverr works like this. You're just going to go over to Fiverr, search based on the gig type. Now, for this specific instance, you can just go in and look for graphics for designers or banner design, and you're just going to press enter. You're going to organize according to category, service options, seller details, your budget, and delivery time. I might recommend to you that if you really want to get a good gig, don't rush it. I would say find a good seller that takes their time so they deliver something that's really nice. I find anytime that something that's expedited 24-hour delivery sometimes doesn't come out very professional. It comes out almost amateurish. Now, read through the gig thoroughly. Don't make the mistake that I sometimes do. Every now and then there are some sellers that says contact me first or contact the seller first. So you want to make sure you scroll down there. And of course, if you have any kind of questions or concerns, sometimes it's best to reach out to that seller first and let them know what your questions and concerns are. There's no sense in you investing a bunch of stuff only to find out they don't deliver exactly what you want. Now, my brother actually did a lot of the ordering here. What Walt did was he spent hours trawling about over on the Fiverr platform for the best high quality premium gigs he could find. And what he wanted to find was something that was, for lack of better terms, cheap, and something that was a bit more expensive. We wanted to kind of compare and contrast, see what would it look like for something that's going to be cheap versus something that's going to be a bit more expensive. We selected both premium gigs because we wanted to kind of do apples to apples, oranges to oranges. The gigs we ordered included, the very first one was a level 2 seller, Lexilina. She said, I will design Twitch overlay, off-screen panels, and more. This was a $50 premium full package with the 7-day delivery and unlimited revisions. Now, I want to say for the record, anytime it says unlimited revisions, I just want to say, if you're a Fiverr seller, I applaud you. That takes a lot of guts and courage to put that on your gig, because you just never know if you run into somebody who's rather fickle. Walt and I are pretty easy to please, so we really didn't have to use revisions. Spoiler alert on that one. What you get on this gig was logo design, custom overlay, a face cam, panel design, 15 alerts. Good Lord, that's a lot of alerts. And 4 screens. And when we actually ordered this, it took a total of 7 days. And I'm going to tell you, there was a bit of a mistake. We'll get to that in just a little bit. I want to talk about the top rated seller of Cstarkana. I will design a Twitch overlay, panels, offline screen, and more. Their premium package was $200 with a 14-day delivery with 5 revisions. So you notice that Cstarkana has been around the block a few times and understands putting unlimited revisions is just opening up a whole can of worms and welcoming in a very nefarious crowd. So kudos to you, Cstarkana. I think even 5 revisions is quite a bit, and especially for a lot of the onboarding process that Cstarkana gets you to go through, because he asks very specific questions about what you need, how you need it. I noticed compared to Lexilina, Lexilina was a little bit more brief. It was just like, hey, tell me what you want. And that was pretty much it. Now, what you get with this particular gig is a custom overlay, face cam, panel design, 5 alerts, 4 screens, 3 emotes or badges. And this actually took 10 days, even though they said the turnaround was going to be 14 days. So over-delivered by all means. All right, so there was a couple mistakes. And before I do the full reveal, I'm going to show to you what it was between, say, the $50 gig and the $200 gig. And with this particular instance, I just want to talk about 2 mistakes. Mistake number 1, and this is on us, we didn't give full details to Lexilina, but she really didn't ask inside there. I have to be handheld sometimes, and unfortunately I think that if Lexilina just kind of gets things tightened up, it might actually help her out, because she had to reach out to us and say, hey, what did you want? Like, what are some of the things you needed? And we were kind of like, by that point, at least we had ordered numerous gigs by the time she'd reached out to us. So in any event, mistake number 2 was Lexilina actually got down to the wire and was like, hey, I'm going to be late. Can I ask for an extension? So rather than it taking the up to 7 days, she had to go just a little bit beyond 7 days. And to be honest, it was barely beyond that. So if she ended up being late, I wouldn't have been mad. She asked for an extension, and of course we allowed for that. So let's go for the reveal. There we go.
Okay.
I'm digging it.
I like it. I like it.
I'm probably not the biggest fan of the font.
The font. Yeah. So if we were to do a revision on this one, I would hit her up with that font that you have, because maybe we didn't communicate that with her, or we did with the other guy.
Yeah, it's a little bit off brand. It feels more
it's
like
more gamer.
But are we going to turn this one down? Are we so turned off that we're like, nah, we don't want this? Because if we tell them to go and redo this, by the way, this is going to require a lot more work for this seller.
Here's the thing. So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Would you stream on Twitch with this overlay?
I probably would. I'm not angry at it. So to be learned, anybody that's watching this, don't rush through it. Some of the things you want to think about is font choice. And if you're leaving it up to the seller to choose the font for you, sometimes you got to live with it. Yeah. You can, in all actuality, decline this. You can reject it and say, hey, could you change this font and such? But to me, we were like, paint outside the boundaries, have some fun with it. I noticed that when the font goes smaller for things like our starting soon screen and the be back and the offline and ending soon, it's okay like that. I don't mind that right there. So almost like a secondary text. I'm overall happy with it. How do you feel, man?
It's doable for me.
Overall, really, really happy with it. She actually even changed, it looks like a little bit of the saturation in some of our images. Like she kind of kicked up the saturation contrast a little bit.
And I think that was because of when she was doing the red background with us, so somewhat transparent back there. She probably had to do that. So.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
So are you pleased with the one file and ready to accept for delivery? Yeah, I'd say let's go ahead and rock and roll. This is the more premium one that ran us $200. So the last one we did was the $50 model, which, dude, that was still really good despite our hangups on like the font. So let's go ahead and see what Cstarkana has for us. And I think you and I were really pumped about this one. I dig it. I dig it. He really stayed on brand. The font choice is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I like the font choice is definitely better than the one we viewed yesterday. So not that there was, like, once again, we're not totally crapping on that last one. It's just this one here.
Right.
More our brand.
I feel like it's right on there, and I'm looking at some of like the more finer things when it comes to the graphic details. So like you could see our offline picture. You see how it kind of has almost like that paint like splash across. Yeah. I like that. That's just, it looks so friggin' clean, man. It looks like maybe he might have done a little bit of touch up on our photos, because again, it was a real like pasty white looking picture, so they probably kicked up some of the contrast and some of the saturation on it, so it looked a little bit more clean. I like the fact that he was like, you know what, here's the logo. We're gonna keep their logos like there is. So this is cool. So
he did some work on it though. Look a little bit closer on the logo.
Well, you've got the red outline.
How it's like torn or whatever.
Yeah.
Sub badges.
Okay, cool. It's like
nice
a gold
sub badge.
mic.
That's the gold one, the gold mic. Because remember, we kind of gave them free ring.
Silver, and I imagine this will probably be like a bronze. 33 assets. 33 assets for $200. That cost us roughly about $6 per each one of them. And the nice thing is, rather than us having to go and buy individual gigs on each one of these things, we could do it all in one gig. And that's the thing is, if we did these individually, Fiverr is going to charge a surcharge for each one of those things. You're going to get a $2 surcharge. So you got to think about that adding up in due time.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it almost makes the most sense. A lot of people are going to probably look at this gig and go, oh my gosh, I can't afford $200. But I might stress to you that you can keep all of your branding all pretty much the same across the board. And on top of that, get it to where you have almost every single asset, with the exception of we just didn't get transitions or stingers, and we didn't get emotes. But yeah, that is probably for a nominal fee, more. So I don't know about you. I say we go ahead and approve this gig. What do you think was the best gig of those two? Did you like the $50 one or the $200 one? Which one could you see ordering, or would you see ordering either one of these? And hey, now that you have all these assets to put together, how do you put it to where it needs to be put? Well, actually over here, I show you how to set it up on Twitch. And hey, over here, I show you how to set it up on YouTube. And while we're at it, over here, I show you how to set it up over on Facebook. So I'll see you in any of these 3 videos.